It's 3 a.m. You were about to fall asleep, and then your brain decided it was the perfect time to remind you of something embarrassing you said in front of everyone 4 years ago, and plays it back in full HD with sound. You didn't ask for this. You weren't even close to thinking about it. But now you're wide awake, replaying a sentence you said in 2022 like it's breaking news. Here's the part that should bother you more than it does. This happens to almost everyone, on almost every continent. And until very recently, nobody could actually explain why. So let's actually find out what's happening in your skull at 3 a.m. that doesn't happen at 3 p.m. During the day, your brain is busy. It's filtering emails, deciding what to eat, responding to people talking to you. Neuroscientists call this top-down control. Your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for focus and decision-making, is actively suppressing irrelevant thoughts so you can function. At night, when you're lying still with nothing to focus on, that suppression weakens. Researchers studying intrusive thoughts have found that the same mental noise filter that keeps unwanted memories down during the day is far less active when you're not engaged in a task. In other words, it's not that 3 a.m. creates the memory. It's that 3 a.m. is the first time all day your brain wasn't busy enough to keep it locked away. This next part explains why it specifically picks the embarrassing memories, not the boring ones. Social neuroscientist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA ran brain imaging studies showing that social pain, rejection, humiliation, embarrassment, activates the same regions as physical pain, including the dorsal anterior cingulate cortex. To your brain, being humiliated in front of people registers similarly to a physical threat. And threats get prioritized for memory storage because evolutionarily, the cost of forgetting a real danger was much higher than the cost of an awkward night. In a small tribe of 30 to 50 people, being humiliated wasn't just embarrassing. It could mean losing status, allies, or your spot in the group. Your brain still runs that ancient alarm, even though today the tribe is just 3 coworkers who already forgot what you said. Here's where it gets stranger. You don't just remember the moment, you replay it, often multiple times, sometimes with new invented details that make it feel worse. This is related to what psychologists call rumination. Rumination is the brain's flawed attempt at problem solving. It treats an unresolved social event like an unfinished task, and unfinished tasks get flagged for review. Your brain isn't trying to torture you, it's trying to help, badly. It thinks if it replays the moment enough times, it'll find the version where you said the right thing, and then it can finally close the file. Except there is no version where it closes the file, because the event already happened, so the loop just runs again. You might be wondering why this doesn't happen on a quiet Sunday afternoon. By this point, we've already established the first piece of the puzzle. At night, your brain's mental filter gets weaker, but 2 other things stack on top of that. First, cortisol. Your cortisol levels, the hormone tied to alertness and stress, naturally dip in the hours before sleep. Lower cortisol at night has been linked in sleep research to reduced ability to regulate negative emotional memories, meaning the same memory that felt manageable at noon feels heavier at midnight. Second, darkness removes visual input. During the day, your eyes are constantly feeding your brain new information to process, which competes for attention. At night, lying in the dark with your eyes closed, there's almost nothing competing with internal thoughts. Sleep researchers sometimes call this the spotlight effect of darkness. Fewer external inputs means internal ones get the full spotlight. So you've got 3 things converging at once: weaker mental filtering, dropping cortisol, and 0 visual competition. 3 a.m. isn't cursed. It's just the only time of day all 3 line up simultaneously. Here's the part almost nobody mentions. Some researchers studying memory consolidation, the process where short-term memories get filed into long-term storage during rest, believe emotionally charged memories get prioritized for processing specifically because the brain is trying to learn from them, not punish you with them. The replaying isn't a malfunction. It's closer to your brain doing unpaid overtime, trying to extract a lesson from a moment that felt threatening, so you're better prepared if anything similar happens again. It's just doing this job at the worst possible time, with zero regard for your sleep schedule. So next time it's 3 a.m. and that 4-year-old memory shows up uninvited, it's not because you're broken or overly sensitive or thinking about it too much. It's a security system built for tribal survival, a memory filter that's off duty, a stress hormone dipping at the wrong time, and a brain quietly trying to learn something from a moment that already ended. You're not weird for this happening to you. You're just running very old hardware in a world it was never designed for.